2nd September 2022. In this Skidmark I'm going to talk about the crop failures that is apparent in the Northern Hemisphere. And this is an issue that has serious consequences for the world. Over the past years, there has been a lot of political interference in food production. And we are seeing it now boiling over in the EU, where basically all the farmers are busy with massive protests. You know, so that stupid WEF is driving a plan where they want to reduce harmful gases from cattle. Are they fucking crazy? And they want the people to stop using nitrogen in fertilizers. But most important, and this is the real thing, they want the farmers' land so they can build housing complexes there to house all those millions of imported migrants. Migrants that has been imported specifically to dilute the white population of Europe and to outbreed them and to destroy white culture. That is the plan. But the people are sleeping. Most importantly, they're sleeping at the wheel. There's a major fuck-up heading for Europe. And let's not forget, America has got the same problem. There's millions of migrants streaming in over their southern border. And that Biden and his cabal sitting there in the shithouse in Washington are orchestrating that and are encouraging that instead of protecting America from that invasion. What the hell are these people thinking? What is the outcome going to be? But bring the migrants in by the millions. How are you going to feed them? And when those guys run out of food and go hungry and they are reminded of their homelands where they come from, they're going to do to Europe what they do in their homelands. They're going to destroy Europe and they're going to fucking burn the place down. And they're going to kill the people and they're going to rape the women. That is what's going to happen there. But the citizens of Europe is sitting comfortably, trusting their future in the hand of that woke leadership. I don't know where this is going to end for Europe. It's going to look bad. We have got this message. Europe's corn crop to plummet 16% below 5-year average due to drought and heat waves. Meat prices across the bloc leaped 12% in July versus a year earlier. Milk, cheese and eggs are also soaring at record rates. Yes. And don't forget, they are actively, the WEF cabal is actively working on reducing your cattle herds. And obviously you're going to have a problem with meat. But it's not going to be a problem. You're going to be without meat and you will be happy because you're going to eat insects and you're going to eat that shit that Gates is making in his labs and factories. Severe droughts across the Northern Hemisphere stretching from the farms of California to waterways in Europe and China are further snarling supply chains and driving up the prices of food and energy. Yes, nature has got cycles. There's wet cycles and dry cycles. I'm 70 years old and I've seen many droughts and I've seen many wet seasons. Right now in India, some farmers saying almost all of their crops have been destroyed because of the heavy rainfall. We are all wheat farmers. Wheat is completely destroyed. Everyone is facing terrible losses. 300 villages impacted. And when the Indian government decided a few months ago to stop all exports of grain, the world were crucifying them. But they could see there was a problem coming. And of course they must look after their own people first. Drought is the largest contributor to crop loss in China, which has now been aggravated by risks posed by climate change, and it could have a noticeable impact on fresh produce supply and prices. And yes, it looks ugly in China, but again, it is normal cycles. Parched soils, grasshopper infestations, scorching heat, hail damage. This year's US corn crop has been put through the ringer, and it shows. A poor US harvest will likely exacerbate the food inflation. It is really disturbing. But then you must read this. and think about all the food processing plants that has burned down in America in the last year. Think about it. Think about how many farmland blocks has Gates purchased. Ask yourself, what is the plan here? Let me tell you this, there is a plan, and we, the people, are not part of that plan. Our extinction is part of that plan. New England, it's just crazy. Yes, we've heard that we're going to see more extremes in climate, but man, are we seeing it in just this short 3-year period. Now, from what I can remember, cycles, rainfall cycles, normally runs roughly in 7-year cycles. So if year 1 was the peak of the drought, in 7 years you're going to have the peak of a wet season. China, 2022. Damage to crops and water scarcity could spread to other food-related sectors, resulting in a substantial price increase or food crisis in the most severe case. On the edge of calamity now, what will 2032 look like? Well, fuck, 2032. By that time, Schwab has predicted, you will own nothing and be happy. Now we're going to get to Russia. And this was sobering. April 21, Reuters. Russia is on course for a record 2022 wheat crop of 87.4 million tons. Russian consultancy Sovcon said on Thursday, raising its previous forecast of 86.5 million. The forecast for Russia, one of the world's largest wheat exporters, along with the European Union, was raised due to excellent crop conditions and good availability of crop nutrients. Amazing. And also in the Northern Hemisphere. The weather has been friendly for winter wheat in recent months, leading to below average winter kill. This factor fully offset a substantial 5% decrease in the area planted last autumn. The head of Sovcon said in a statement, plants in Russia's key wheat production regions, the South and Central Black Earth, look very good, he added. Russia harvested 76 million tons of wheat in 2021. Sovcon estimates Russia's wheat exports in the July-June 2022-23 market season at 41 million tons compared to 33.9 million tons in the current season. And then there's some images of the Russian wheat harvest for 2022. That looks impressive. Look at the quality of that wheat, because the next piece of information I'm going to share with you might make you frown. When Putin signed Federal Law 358-Z prohibiting cultivation of genetically engineered plants and breeding of genetically engineered animals on the territory of the Russian Federation, he put restrictions on a technology that polls show is feared by about 80% of Russians. On the surface, it also was an economically easy decision, as the proportion of GMO containing food declined from 12% to just 0.1% since 2007. Anti-GMO groups and websites like Natural News and Sustainable Pulse also celebrated the decision, making a logical leap that this decision could curb any GMO development. This law makes Russia the world's largest GMO-free territory and offers a great platform for development of organic agriculture. Now, I have my own position on GMO, and I never trusted that GMO shit, because what is happening is humans are interfering with nature. And I say the fact that these crops in the US and Europe is failing like hell, mostly due to GMO. The GMO plants has been designed to give the ultimate harvest, maximum harvest, under ideal conditions. And the moment that plant has to deal with high heat or a drought or a combination of the two, what happens? That thing fails, because that clever human that designed it did not design it to survive under those conditions. But the world did not listen. And people are quick to blame Putin for all their shit. Now, I'm just asking myself, the conditions across the Northern Hemisphere at this point in time. Obviously, Russia experienced the same conditions. And why do they have a bumper crop? Is it because they don't use GMO seed? I think so. And it's my opinion that that is the big reason why Russia is not experiencing the same crop failures as the rest of the Northern Hemisphere. Because that US and Europe, everything is GMO. And now you can see the results. I don't know how the world's going to cope. The sanctions they've placed against Russia is making it fucking hard for farmers to get fertilizers. It makes it hard for importers in Europe to import food from Russia. But the friendly nations will get their stuff from Russia. And all I can hope for is that the European citizens wakes up and realize that that WEF cabal sitting in Brussels has loaded them all on a roller coaster ride to hell. And they better get off that roller coaster, because the end is going to be horrible. Well, it's a great day down in Africa. The sun is shining, spring, grass is turning green, trees are getting new leaves. And on this Friday, please like, subscribe, share, and thank you for your support.